A lot of people wonder why sometimes we have to ask for extra documentation during the loan process. And honestly, it makes them worried because they're concerned that maybe they won't get the loan. So let me explain what's going on and give you a couple examples of things that we see in the process. One of the first main steps that happens towards your loan approval is that the processor will review your documentation. After that, then they will submit it to the underwriter to ultimately review your file and make sure that we have everything that we need in order to approve your loan. It's a normal part of the process that the result of that is what's called a conditional approval, and that means that your approval is conditional upon receiving outstanding documentation. Most of the time that's going to be things like title work from the attorney or the appraisal, maybe an additional pay stub, things like that. Sometimes though, what happens is the documentation that you provided actually creates other questions that need to be answered. A common one that we see are deposits that are outside of payroll, meaning cash deposits, or maybe you received a gift. Because guidelines require that we document where those funds come from, we're going to ask you where it comes from. If it's a cash donation, we may not be able to use it. If it's a gift donation, then we may be able to use it. We'll just need more information on the donor and the source of those funds. A second example is we may see on your credit report that you had recent inquiries. So we're going to ask, what was the result of that inquiry? And if there is a new loan or if there's a new debt that you have, we're going to need documentation in order to document what that payment is and who you owe, and basically update your loan application. The third example of things that may come up when we're underwriting your file are going to be around income. So perhaps you told us that you work a 40-hour week, but if we get a pay stub that shows you've been averaging between 35 and 38 hours a week, and so in that case, we're going to need documentation from the employer to show what your previous history has been and what we can expect going forward. So hopefully that helps to explain that being asked for extra documentation during the process is a very normal experience. We're here to help. We don't want you to be stressed, and we want to make sure that you understand what's going on with your loan so you can be excited about this next step.